Major League Baseball trade deadline is Monday. They moved it to Monday, and that means one extra day for these teams to try to get things happening. Yankees-Mets Monday, if you like the little Subway series. Baseball tonight, Carl Ravitch, Adnan Virk, John Kruk, Jim Bowden, Tim Kirkshin, Keith Law, Buster Olney, Jason Stark. Great lineup on Monday as the Baseball Tonight Yankees and Mets here on 97.3 ESPN. Alex Cora over at ESPN, Major League Baseball analyst. He was traded once, and I wonder what it's like for guys who once were traded or are in that room all the time, Alex, when the guys hear their names. I'm sure you get asked this a lot, but the trade deadline comes up, and I guess these guys, they're humans. You hear your name in trade, it's probably not easy.
I remember Dave Roberts getting traded in 2004 from the LA Dodgers to the Boston Red Sox. We were in San Diego, and Dave Roberts was crushed. He was crying. He was upset. He didn't want to leave the Dodgers. And a few months later, he became a hero in Boston. So, that's the way it works. They're human beings. They got families. They got places they live. They rent their furniture. You got family flying around this time because it's the summer and they want to go see you, and all of a sudden they decide to trade you. So it's not that easy, but it's a fun time for us that we are away from the game. You watch and you think you can be a GM, how you fix this team and that team, and I love it from this side. It was a tough week for everybody in that clubhouse when you're playing.
Yeah, no, it's funny now that you played the game and now you're talking about the game. Do you view the trade deadline a little differently?
Very differently. Actually, I'm having a blast this week just working with Tim Kirkshin and Jim Bowden, who's full of energy. Jim right now, he can fix the 30 teams at the big league level and all the teams in Japan right now with the trading deadline. He can do it all. It's been amazing. And sometimes the shows are very late, but just hanging out in the clubhouse and watching games and just looking at these guys working their phones and talking to GMs and minor league directors, it's amazing. It's a good learning experience, and I'm having a blast with them.
Alex Cora's with us. Alex, I want to get your opinion on when you look at a team like Philadelphia, which did not have a lot of expectations. They sold the last couple of years. And the direction that they're moving in, they've exceeded a lot of people's expectations, but do you like the direction, and do you think that team is ahead of schedule for where you may have thought they were at the beginning of the year?
I think they're ahead of schedule because of the winning attitude they have this year. There's going to be a few guys in that roster. They're going to be part of what is going to happen in the next few years. But if you're in the minor league system, the trade, all the kids that they got from the Cole Hamels trade, and obviously there's a few guys that are at the big league level on the Giles trade. Well, you see the team playing the way they are, that's always a good sign. And then that starts from on top. They've done an outstanding job preaching, play the game right, and then do the right things on the field. This is how we're going to play. And I bet it goes from the big league level all the way to rookie ball level to the Dominican Summer League. So they're in a good pace, but the way things are going, they got a few pieces out there. Jean-Marc Gomez and Hector Neris. You saw what happens with Andrew Kashner, who struggled the whole season, and what the San Diego Padres just got for him. I won't be surprised if something happens with the Phillies and they can get some more players. This is the way it's going. It started with the Ken Giles trade last year, with the Houston Astros giving all those prospects to the Phillies, and then Kimbrel with the Padres, and Shelby Miller with the Diamondbacks and the Braves. So the price is high, man, and if you got a righty that can help a bullpen, you might get 2 or 3 prospects. I wouldn't hesitate because you still, rebuilding the organization. That you're going to become a winner in a few years. Why not? This is amazing what I've seen with a few trades that have happened this past week.
Yeah, and the way the Philly, Hamels last year, and you mentioned Giles, they replenished their farm system in like 6 months. You don't see that happen too often. They really made 2 deals that really changed because at this time last year, Alex, if we were having this conversation, this team didn't look like they had a lot of positive vibes moving forward.
Everything I heard in the green room and in the clubhouse was like, what's Ruben going to do now? This is not going to happen. And all of a sudden, Cole Hamels out of nowhere, boom, the Texas Rangers, perfect fit, because we were talking about it yesterday. What Cole Hamels means to the Texas Rangers is amazing. This is their number one. This is their ace. This is the guy that is going to carry you. We saw it in the playoffs last year, and yesterday was one of those games that they needed Cole Hamels to go deep into the game. He goes 8 innings, 23 pitches, outstanding. But everything they give to the Phillies, all of a sudden, oh, wait a minute, they know what they're doing. And then the Giles trade with the Houston Astros, an organization that everybody talks about them, their team NASA, they're like so smart, so bright. Well, they got a quote-unquote closer, an arm that is going to give you 3 outs, and all of a sudden you get all these arms, all these players. So they're in a good spot, man. Compared to last year, like you said, they're in a much better spot. There's a team that you can see where they're heading, and in a division that is going to be very competitive the next few years, because the Braves are in the same boat. They're reloading that minor league system. It's going to be fun in the next few years, the National League East.
Yeah, and, well, you saw the Mets last year make the World Series. Now they're struggling. The Marlins have actually passed them. They make a trade today. You've got the Nationals at the top with a lot of problems with Papelbon. That division over the next couple of years should be really intriguing, because Alex, it looked like the Mets with that pitching were going to be on top for a while, and then all of a sudden it's, boom, 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 a couple of arms gone bad, and this thing has turned into a very wide-open division.
Yeah, Harvey gets hurt, then Steven Matz and Noah Syndergaard, you start talking about bone spurs in their elbow, and, that window can close very, very quick. That's why, a few years ago, the whole Steven Strasburg situation with the Nationals,
yeah.
You're like, you know what? It's not a given that you're going to get back to the World Series or you're going to get back to the playoffs. And for how good the Nationals have been last year, that was a disappointing season for them. They were awful early in the season, and they didn't make it to the playoffs. This year, they're in a position that with that pitching staff, you feel like, yeah, they might win this division. They got a pretty good chance. But now, all of a sudden, Jonathan Papelbon is struggling. Chapman goes to the Cubs, and you're like, okay, if the Nationals won, because you start wondering, you're like, well, the Nationals and the Cubs, right now, they're the 2 best teams in the National League. Well, if the Nationals wants to beat the Cubs, they need to get Miller. You have to get Miller, and they got some interesting prospects in that system. With Papelbon struggling the last few outings, you wonder, well, in the playoffs, you need that shutdown guy late in the game. Well, they got to pull a trade, but we'll see what happens. Mike Rizzo, he's a smart guy. He understands where he's at. So hopefully for the Nationals, they do something, because they do need to get better.
Yeah, we're talking with 14-year Major Leaguer Alex Cora, ESPN Major League Baseball analyst. I think everybody, yourself included, I don't want to speak for you, but are the Cubs the best team right now?
Yes, they are. Complete team, not only with that pitching staff and obviously Chapman, but we talk about the Kansas City Royals, what they've done the last 2 years. Your starters go 6 innings, and then you go 7th, 8th, 9th with your best arms. Well, now, yeah, Chapman, he's amazing in the 9th inning, but Rondon, you move him in the 8th, and he's the new Kelvin Herrera for the Chicago Cubs. Then Strub, who was in the 8th inning, you put in the 7th, and, he's nasty. I was watching that game yesterday. It's like 94, 95 in the 7th inning, 95, 96 in the 8th inning, and then obviously the next guy, 99, 100. So with a rotation that is pretty solid, Lester, Lackey, Hendricks, Arrieta, they do an outstanding job going deep into games, and then you have that bullpen, and then they got the kid from Seattle, Anderson. He's a good lefty. Wood too. So, Joe Madden has all the weapons, to mix and match later in the game. Obviously, you finish off with Chapman. And one thing about the Cubs, and nobody talks about this defensively, a lot better. Lately, Javi Baez is playing second base. And with Javi Baez and Addison Russell up the middle, they're up there with the best double play combinations defensively at the big league level. Zobrist, now they're using him more as the utility guy, moving him around. He played left field yesterday. Today he's playing right field. So they're a good team. They're a complete team. Offensively, the two big guys, Brian and Rizzo, outstanding. So we'll see what happens. But right now, they're the best team at the big league level.
Good stuff. Baseball trade deadline Monday. Alex Cora and the guys baseball tonight. And, of course, Monday it's Yankees and the Mets, the Subway Series renewed. Alex, a pleasure. Enjoy the weekend.
You too.